Imagine a world where the currency tucked away in safes and safety deposit boxes, a currency many have held for over a decade, suddenly begins a transformation from a speculative asset into a globally recognized medium of exchange. This isn't a scene from a financial thriller. This is the very real, very palpable possibility that has been ignited by a single, monumental development. The global financial titan, JPMorgan Chase & Company, has just made a strategic, calculated move directly into the heart of Iraq's monetary system. For anyone holding the Iraqi dinar, this isn't just another headline in a long string of rumors. This is the kind of institutional endorsement that has been the subject of whispered hopes for years. When a bank of JP Morgan's stature, with its unparalleled global reach and deep-seated regulatory credibility, decides to engage with the Iraqi dinar framework, it sends a seismic shockwave through the very foundation of the investment thesis. This is not a social media guru promising riches by the weekend. This is the cold, hard reality of high finance making a bet. That bet suggests that the behind-the-scenes groundwork, the complex web of contractual agreements, the meticulous regulatory approvals, the stress testing of financial infrastructure, has reached a stage of maturity that warrants the attention and risk assessment of one of the world's most powerful institutions. This move fundamentally shifts the dinar narrative from one of pure hope to one of tangible, institutional possibility. The very fact that JP Morgan is willing to attach its reputation to this process indicates that the potential rewards now, in their professional assessment, outweigh the historically significant risks. For the dinar holder, this is the moment where everything changes. The waiting is no longer a passive act of faith in a distant government's promise. It becomes an active watch on the movements of a global financial institution whose actions are dictated by profit, precedent, and profound due diligence. This is the signal that the long-prophesied reset may no longer be a matter of if, but a matter of when and how, orchestrated not in the halls of Baghdad alone, but in the boardrooms of New York. The involvement of such a player implies a level of international coordination and legal scaffolding that simply did not exist before, turning the dinar from a fringe, exotic play into a potential emerging market story with a powerful guardian. This is the hook that should capture every ounce of your attention, because what follows next is a deep, uncompromising dive into what this means, why it's happening now, and precisely what you need to watch for to separate the coming reality from the inevitable noise. To truly grasp the monumental nature of JP Morgan's involvement, we must first dismantle the simplistic idea of a revaluation as a simple number change. What is unfolding, and what JP Morgan is now seemingly a part of, is a complex, multi-layered currency transformation. This isn't a light switch being flipped. It's the meticulous engineering of a new financial ecosystem. Think of it as building a new highway system for money to flow in and out of Iraq. This involves several simultaneous, non-negotiable steps. First, the core exchange rate mechanism itself must be recalibrated from its current official rate to one that reflects a more realistic, market-driven value, a process fraught with economic and political implications that requires immense stability. Second, the entire domestic banking protocol must be upgraded to handle not just the new value, but the tsunami of international scrutiny and transaction volume that would follow. This means new software, new compliance training, and new security measures to prevent systemic collapse. Third, and this is where JP Morgan's role becomes critical, is the facilitation of international convertibility. For the dinar to be truly revalued, it must be easily and freely exchangeable for other major currencies like the US dollar, the euro, and the yen at banks and airports around the world, not just in niche exchanges. JP Morgan, with its vast international network, can act as the bridge, providing the liquidity reservoirs and settlement systems that make this seamless convertibility possible. They are the ones who can assure other international banks that transactions in dinar are secure, compliant, and profitable. Fourth, this entire new system must operate in perfect harmony with global financial standards, particularly anti-money laundering (AML), and combating the financing of terrorism (CFT) protocols. Any weakness here would immediately scare away every other reputable institution and trigger devastating international sanctions. JP Morgan's expertise in navigating this global regulatory maze is arguably as valuable as its capital. Their presence signals to the world that the necessary checks and balances are being implemented to a standard that meets global approval. So, when you hear JP Morgan is involved, you are not hearing about a single transaction. You are hearing about the assembly of a complex, interlocking machine where each part must function perfectly with the others. This institutional endorsement suggests that the foundational layers, the legal agreements, the regulatory green lights, the technical infrastructure, are either in place or in their final stages of testing. It moves the process from the theoretical drawing board into the realm of practical, executable finance, transforming the Iraqi dinar from a localized currency into a potential participant in the global forex market. Now, let's get brutally practical about what this could mean for you, the dinar holder, and what you must do in this critical window of time. The potential outcomes are profound. Enhanced liquidity, meaning your dinar could suddenly become far easier to convert at mainstream banks, legitimacy as other institutions follow JPMorgan's lead, and potential market momentum that could shift the currency's value. However, this is the precise moment where discipline separates the strategic investor from the impulsive speculator. The first and most important rule is to treat this development as a powerful signal of possibility, not a guarantee of profit. The landscape is still littered with variables that can derail progress: geopolitical turmoil, a sudden drop in global oil prices, or an unforeseen regulatory hurdle. Therefore, your strategy must be one of vigilant, informed patience. Your immediate focus should be on identifying concrete indicators of real progress while filtering out the destructive noise. Watch exclusively for official documentation, memoranda of understanding, contracts, or regulatory filings from JPMorgan, the Central Bank of Iraq, or major financial news networks like Reuters or Bloomberg. Listen for public statements from these entities confirming cooperation. Monitor legitimate forex platforms for any official movement in dinar trading volume and value, ignoring the shady forums and black market dealers. Simultaneously, you must become a guardian against your own optimism. The red flags will now multiply: social media hype about guaranteed rates, offers to reserve your conversion at an absurdly high rate, or whispers of an imminent announcement this weekend. These are almost always scams designed to prey on the hopeful. Do not engage. Secure your assets. Ensure your physical notes are authentic, in good condition, and stored securely. If you hold dinar in a bank account, practice impeccable digital security. This is also the time to think beyond a simple cash out. If this transformation occurs, it could open long-term opportunities for investment in Iraq, trade, or supporting family connections. But to reach that point, you must navigate the next phase with a clear head. So here's your call to action. Do not just watch this video and go back to waiting. Become an active participant in your own financial future. Right now, in this moment, I want you to open a new tab and bookmark the official press release pages for JPMorgan and the Central Bank of Iraq. Make those your primary sources of information. Set up Google News alerts for Iraqi Dinar JPMorgan and Central Bank of Iraq International Banking. Commit to checking these credible sources daily, ignoring the unsubstantiated chatter. Your informed vigilance is your greatest asset. This journey has been long, and the finish line may finally be in sight, but crossing it requires one final, disciplined push. Stay sharp, stay informed, and let's see where this historic move takes us.